This is a metaphor lesson. It's an introduction to abstracting and metaphorical thinking. Get ready, because your brain is probably going to hurt after this. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. This is a metaphor. It's comparing life to a box of chocolates. You never know what life's going to dish out to you. Just like when you grab a piece of chocolate, you never know which one you're going to bite into. I'm always hoping that it's not the cherry one. I think those are gross. So abstracting is understanding and metaphorical thinking. It's the process of finding and explaining a general pattern that can be applied to a different idea. Abstracting can help us see new things through the lens of something that's familiar. It can also help us see something unfamiliar from a new perspective. I have a few examples for you. There's one in every class. What am I thinking of? It's a class clown. Now this isn't somebody that actually dresses as a clown like somebody in this picture, but it's somebody that goofs off and is funny and silly, just like a clown is. So we compare a peer to a clown. I'm thinking of Thomas. I am so hungry I could eat a horse. Now he's not going to actually eat this horse, but he's so hungry that he could eat that amount. A horse is huge. We could never eat a horse in a whole meal, but that's how he feels. He's so hungry. So a metaphor can be almost an exaggeration of some sort. What picture is this showing? Oh, it's a heart, and it's broken. So it must be a broken heart. Now when we feel pain, like a broken heart, when something hurts us that way, it's emotion. Our heart isn't actually broken. Our heart's still pumping to keep us alive and breathing and doing what we need to. But emotionally, we feel like it's broken. So it's comparing a feeling of not being able to live without something like a heart to the feeling of not being able to live without a certain emotion. Now, in order to complete this, the first thing that we need to do is go from a specific to a general. So the first step of abstracting is going from a specific term into a general term. I have an example here, and I'll show you an example on the next slide as well. So Mary is a specific name. We can say that Mary is a girl. Girl is a little bit more general than Mary, but we can even get more general than that because a girl is a person. So in that case, we can say Mary, which is a very specific term, is a person, which is a very general term. So we're going to compare an earth, or our earth, to an apple. So if we break down the earth into layers, we can say there's a crust, a mantle, and a core. Those are very specific and even science-specific terms. So let's break these into some more general terms. And we have to know a little bit about each layer in order to do this. So the crust, we know it's a very thin layer, and it's on the outside of the earth. The mantle, we also know that this is the thickest layer, and it's in the middle. The core, we know, is the innermost layer. Now we need to go from general to new idea. So think about how we just described those three layers. The second step into abstracting is to compare general terms to a new idea. So a person is a character in a story. That's very general, and we're thinking about our person from the previous slide, Mary. Mary and Jack are characters in a story. So that's very specific, and it's a new idea because we're comparing Mary from Mary Had a Little Lamb to Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk. They're both characters in the story, however, they're specific terms, Mary and Jack. So now let's compare our earth to the apple. We have our general terms, thin, thick, and we also have outside, in, middle, and inner. So now think of an apple. The skin is just like the crust of the earth. It's very thin and it's on the outside. Now think of the pulp of an apple. It's just like the mantle. It's the thickest layer and it's in the middle of the apple. And then think of the core, and it's even called the core in an apple. In both of these, they're the innermost layer. That's how an earth and an apple can compare. They're two very different ideas, yet we can find general thoughts between them. Okay, you have a task. So your task is going to be to compare the rock cycle, fossil formation, how organisms became extinct, and how organisms are related to your personal interests. So you have to do this by using the process of abstracting, and you're going to create metaphors just like we did, comparing these processes to something you're interested in, just like we compared the layers of the earth to the layers of an apple. I didn't leave you hanging. I have a metaphor chart to help you, and I even filled in the very first general. So as you can see on the left-hand side, we have all the science specifics, and remember your steps go specific to general to specific. So use what you know about the science specifics to fill in the general category. Once the general category is filled in, then you're going to connect it to the specifics of your interest. Good luck!